Dear children, today we will focus on the poem The Snare. The poem The Snare. Written by James Stephens. The author of this poem is James Stephens. Now, The Snare. About the poet. James Stephens was an Irish novelist and poet. After finishing his schooling, he graduated as a solicitor's clerk. He produced many retelling as Irish myths and fairy tales and wrote several original novels and books of poems. James Stephens grew up in the slums of Dublin and worked as a stronger man. During the early years of his age, later he served for some years as an assistant curator in Dublin. He had deep interest in Gaelic art, literature, and culture. This is all about the poet. The author of this poem is James Stephenson. Now, earlier I just told you about the poet. Now we will come to the poem. How I will recite. As I recite, you keep the finger on your pointing finger should be on each word. So now let us come. I hear a sudden cry of pain. There is a rabbit in a snare. Now I hear the cry again, but I cannot tell from where. This is first stanza. Once more I will read you. I hear a sudden cry of pain. There is a rabbit in a snare. Now I hear the cry again, but I cannot tell from where. In the first stanza, we come to know the poet suddenly hears a painful cry. Suddenly hears a painful cry. That seems the cry of a rabbit which has been caught up in a snare. He hears the sound of pain again, but he fails to locate the place as he does not know where the sound comes from. He looks here and there. He feels sad to hear the sound. He is searching, but he cannot find. Still he is searching. He wants to hear that cry again once more and have a search for the snare. Snare is a rabbit, a small rabbit. This is all about the first stanza. Now we will come to the second stanza. But I cannot tell from where he is calling out for aid. Crying on the frightened air, making everything afraid. Now, first stanza, you heard how it was very painful. Now we are coming to the second stanza of the explanation. Now, he does not know where the sound of pain comes. The rabbit is calling for help. The painful cry haunts him and it creates a horror in the whole at whole atmosphere. It creates a frightening atmosphere. The poet feels that in such a state, everyone feels afraid. The effect is sorrowful here. In the second stanza, it makes more sorrowful the effect. Why? Because it is, they are searching. He is searching for the snare, but cannot be found. Know where it is. So this is some mystery for them. Yeah, he is looking here and there. You can see in the picture how he was looking. He was so sad, and he is hunting for it. That is all about the second stanza. The poem is very short. The stanzas are very short, but the deep meaning in it, if you see how the poet goes searching the cry of a small rabbit. In our life also many times it happens. Sometimes we hear the sound here and there. We also feel sad. Some birds maybe, some animals maybe, or someone beating the animals or anything. We see that we feel very sad. We don't like to be hurting the animals. Yet sometimes we cannot. We are helpless. This is all about the first second stanzas, what we heard just now. Okay. Today we are here to listen to the third and fourth stanzas. Third and fourth stanzas. Now, third stanza, I keep reading. You just extend your finger and keep word by word, making everything afraid, wrinkling up his little face, and he cries again for aid, and I cannot find the place. This is third stanza which I read. You keep your finger and just try to recite as I recited no earlier. Now coming the part of the explanation. As the poet hears the painful cries of this poor rabbit again, he tries hard to find out the place where it is in trouble. He imagines the small face of the rabbit. You have seen the rabbit have got very small face and very tiny animal and runs very fast. And I don't think anybody is enemy of this rabbit. All like small children, your elders, old people, liked by everyone. Rabbits mostly I also like. Now, this wrinkled up in severe pain. The rabbit is crying, somewhere he caught up, and it was in a severe pain. The rabbit calls again for help, but the poet is unable to discover the animal. He is very upset and is searching again and again, but he was unable to discover where this tiny animal is. Could not see where it is. He is again and again looking for it, but he cannot find. Sometimes it happens for us also. We also hear some sound, animal sound, and we search birds or anything here and there, but we're not able to not that discover or see them, trace them. Isn't it? Now, here, this is the small explanation of third stanza. Now I will read the fourth stanza. And I cannot find the place where his pave is in the snare. Little one, oh little one, I am searching everywhere. Little one, oh little one, I am searching everywhere. The poet is keep trying to search everywhere, here and there. He's searching, searching and searching. Goes to search, isn't it? He cannot find. Now, explanation of the first stanza. The poet is not able to find the place where the pave of the rabbit is caught. Pave means is legs. Pave means legs of the rabbit is caught in the snare. Here, it talks about the protection and freedom of wild animals. It says how they will be protected and how they exercise their freedom. The poet feels that the pave of the rabbit is caught up in a trap and it is calling out for help. Trap means sometimes the hunters keep the trap in the forest for the animals. Sometimes, in olden days, the people used to tribals and all they used to hunt animals and eat. So somebody must have kept the trap and he was not able to find that trap, not able to search. So he was calling for help. The poet hears the call again and again and he does his level best to find him everywhere in order to help him. This incident arouses the sympathy for the poor and weak. This shows how we are, show our sympathy and the weak, not only for animals, sometimes it happens for us also in our life. Many chances we get to help people, to go along with them. Sometimes they ask our help, but we refuse, especially the people, elders, or some grandmother, grandfather in the houses. We refuse to help them. If they ask anything, we say, no, I cannot do. Directly we say. But one day it will happen to us. The same stage, the same way, we also will come on that track. So like a rabbit, we also will be caught up somewhere. But we will be crying for help. But nobody is able to find where we are. So we have to try in our life to help each other, those who are weak in health, those who are not able to do anything. So not only catching, this is one poet what he has experienced in the poem. So he has written one poem as his experience. This is only a written form. But in the reality, we have many experiences, especially during this COVID period. We have so many experience. How we ignore people. Yeah, certain times we have to ignore because it happens. Now if we go and do everything for others, we don't know whether they are finding okay or not okay. So all those things are there, so we have to be also careful. But certain times we know in our own houses only we can help poor and the weak, and what is that called, always keep helping them when we are free, all that. Okay, that's what all the morals of this small poem. So here I end up this reciting this poem once more fully to you, and just keep the finger once more. I'll recite the full poem. The snare. I hear a sudden cry of pain. There is a rabbit in a snare. Now I hear the cry again, but I cannot tell from where. But I cannot tell from where. He's calling out for aid, crying on the frightened air, making everything afraid, making everything afraid. Wrinkle up his little face, and he cries again for aid. And I cannot find the place, and I cannot find the place. Where is babies in the snare? Little one, oh little one, I am searching everywhere. James Stephenson. The author of this poem is James Stephenson. Okay, have a nice day and go to this video. So, thank you and God bless you. Keep yourself safe. After the holidays, you are once more back to the online classes. So many more blessings for you, and asking you continue studying and keep touching with the books. This is what I got to say. Thank you and God bless you once more.